just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait. Apply now.
Husker fans, excited for some softball action at Bowlin Stadium this year, but can't commit to a full season ticket? They've got you covered. Introducing the On Deck Deal. Snag tickets to 5 Husker home games for as little as $30. This partial season lets you choose any 5 games, including one from the Maryland series. Whether you prefer general admission or reserve seating, packages start at just $30. Get your On Deck deal today at huskers.com/tickets. Garage doors can break down or quit working at the worst times. At Doors Plus, they understand that a broken garage sometimes means repair and not replace. Sometimes, all you need to make your door like new again is a few bolts, realignment, or even a new balance. Trust the pros at Doors Plus to handle your garage door repair the right way so you can get on with your busy schedule. Visit them online at doorsplusllc.com or give them a call at 402-590-5800.
You hungry? You know you are. We got chicken fingers, crunchy, fries are golden crispy, baby. Yo, don't forget about the cane sauce, baby. Ooh, right here's the spot. Hello.
Experience the Landmark difference with the next level of dealer support. Landmark, your local John Deere dealer, continually works to have parts on hand the first time you walk in the door. Our internal route system means we can get the parts to you typically same or next day to keep you up and running. At Landmark, we understand time is money. Get more uptime with our after-hours parts and service support on the phone or in the field. Stop by your local Landmark today to experience the Landmark difference.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is What's Brewing with Chancellor Brewington on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here is your host, Chancellor Brewington.
All right, welcome in. What's Brewing? Chancellor Brewington got the host as always streaming in. You guys can join in. Starter name and text line 402-464-5685. We do have just the streams going on as well. So Facebook, YouTube, X, Owl Channel 961. We got March Madness on the brick and mortar. But if you're listening, that means you found us already. So with that being said, we'll go ahead and bring him in. The host as always, Chancellor Brewington. How's it going on a pretty beautiful Thursday night out here in Lincoln, Nebraska?
It's beautiful. It's beautiful, man. I'm doing good. I hope everyone listening doing good. Just blessed, man. That's all I can say.
Yeah, I mean, life's pretty good. Weather's good. Football's around the corner. March Madness is happening. What more could you ask for? And you're a baseball guy as well. MLB opening day.
Really?
Oh, I thought you were a baseball guy.
Well, I mean, I don't really. I mean, I feel like I haven't watched baseball in probably like 7-8 years. But no, there's sports are. This is probably like one of my favorite sports times because I just love NBA playoffs. I think those are probably my most enjoyable playoffs to watch out of everything.
No way. Seriously?
Yeah, for sure.
Because of LeBron?
Well, I mean,
because he's been in a lot. It's a legitimate question.
No, I think just growing up, like even when like the Spurs were hot, like before I was on LeBron, really, like when the Heat were playing, when the Pistons, had their run, the Lake Show before, like, in the Kobe era, like, I don't know. It's something about like 7-game series. You just get to see the best of the best go at it. And I feel like it's different than baseball because baseball is it has so many variables. And then basketball, it's like this, you just get to see like these monster humans take over games and do some pretty incredible stuff. So I don't know. I really love, and of course, if the Lakers and LeBron are playing, like now I have something to watch. Like the past couple of years, it's kind of been like, it's just kind of been like, But for the most part, I'm excited. I mean, Lakers and Bulls are playing right now. I think the Bulls might be up by a couple points, or Lakers might be up. I forget, but got a promising playoff for the Lakers coming up.
Yeah, I mean, the only problem for them is they're in the West. But otherwise, like if they're in the East, you feel pretty good about them at least making the Eastern Conference Finals. Yeah, I'm just surprised to see you like the NBA playoffs. That is one of those playoff series that most people just lose interest in very quickly. I agree.
Really?
I love it. Seems to be that way. We're also living in Nebraska. NBA does not sell very well here in Nebraska. I know that much. It's hard to find legitimate NBA fans in this state. But if you are around, you want to chime in, 402-464-5685. But yeah, I love the playoffs in the NBA as well. I don't know if I could. What is the best month? If you're going to you get 1 month to watch sports.
Oh my gosh.
Because if you say March, you get the beginning of March Madness, but you don't get to figure out who wins it because it ends in April.
I'm trying to think. When is the playoff end? Like June? Is it May? June?
I think it's May. Definitely May because they start
May,
late April.
Okay. I think the championship is like early June. I don't know. I really love NBA, but I'll say probably late January, early February. You get the Super Bowl. You get a little bit of basketball. You get a little bit of college basketball. You get, it's tough because the NFL Super Bowl splits like the first week of February, and the college championship is like midweek or mid-month in January. So I would say probably January, beginning of February, that like 30-day window. Because I mean, you get NCAA, but then again, the bowl games, you got to factor in the bowl games. So I don't know. I don't know. December's fun though. December's a real fun time.
I almost wanted to like you just like grab November to get all those college football rivalry games.
Yeah,
like
that's not bad right there.
My biggest worry is like college football is. I mean, that's so good. if I don't get any college football, as much as I love the NBA and March Madness, if I pick March, I don't get to see who wins March Madness. If I pick June, I'll get to see the end of the NBA playoffs. I won't get to see the beginning of it. I'm thinking
June is like you're straight NBA. Like you're NBA all the way.
You almost got to pick something in the fall so you can get some college football in there. And then you'll get NFL as well.
I like the November one.
I think November might be.
Because you get Thanksgiving. You get Thanksgiving college football and NFL football.
And college hoops if you're down.
And college hoops if you're, and NBA plays then too.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Yeah.
Some meaningless regular season. But then I think that might be the best way to do it. That's not where I thought we were going to go. I was trying to figure out what are the best sports months. But that's where we end up landing. Where do you want to go next?
Goodness.
Brewington, it's your show.
Oh, my goodness. Well, aftermath of Pro Day. Oh, there's an interesting comment. I want to know how you feel about this one. Cam Ward was criticized for his body type. Said he looked doughy. That was what a scout said. What do you think about? I have my own personal opinion, but how much are we really playing into body types this late in the development of athletes and seeing some of the best players come through the league and have some I would say not the best body types, not the best muscle definition, but just be able to ball. Like, what do you think about something like that?
Well, first thing I'll say, whoever wrote that report is just hoping to land Cam Ward for himself. Like making up stuff to like hurt his stock. Like, can he throw it and sling it? Yeah. I don't think anybody like just being real. Like, does anybody really give a damn if a quarterback has a little bit of pudge? Today, I don't think people care.
If it inhibits his play, yeah, but
when you look at Mahomes, is he a top tier shredded physical athlete? No. If you look at Josh Allen, is he a top tier physical athlete?
Yeah.
When it comes to like body fat percentage, no, he's not. He's not walking around like.
He's like 6'5", 6'6", like 240 though.
Yeah, even easier to get shredded when you're that tall. You can eat like 10,000 calories. Still be all right. But you look at a guy like Lamar Jackson, he's a guy who's like a freak athlete. You could say okay, athletically, he's the everything what he's supposed to be. No, I don't think that stuff matters anymore at all, really.
Yeah.
Like it's if you're going to be a dual threat quarterback and you're a little overweight, then yeah, it's obviously a problem. Like if Lamar Jackson shows up to camp overweight, that's a way bigger problem than if Mahomes shows up a little bit overweight.
Yeah, the part where I question, and it's interesting because it's like some of my favorite quarterbacks weren't the best, like physically. You know, I was a Peyton Manning fan growing up. Like I loved him and who was it, Reggie Wayne. Their connection was ridiculous. I actually liked Eli Manning. Eli Manning, I mean, I wouldn't say his physique was bad at all. He was more.
It was like Tom Brady. He's not fat. He's not or super out of shape.
Yeah,
just like he's just a good athlete. Really great quarterback specifically, but athletically, he's not going to just be able to translate into the NBA and throw down a crazy dunk.
Yeah, here's a concept I'll ask you. We'll have to pick an example, but my dad used to use this for pitchers, right? And so there used to be the phrase, is he an athletic quarterback or is he an athlete playing quarterback? Right? So let's pick a guy. Let's go Aaron Rodgers. Is he an athlete playing quarterback or is he an athletic quarterback?
Athletic quarterback.
Okay. Cam Newton, is he an athlete playing quarterback or is he an athletic quarterback?
Athlete playing quarterback.
Okay. Let's go Patrick Mahomes. Is he an athlete playing quarterback or athletic quarterback?
Athletic quarterback.
Really?
Yeah.
So it's interesting. Football is like hard because like what's the scale and what's the judge of an athlete? Because if you were to compare 90% of all sports, like if you were to compare pitchers with quarterbacks, right? I mean, the quarterbacks will blow them out the water because you're demanded to do more and all these different things, right? But I think it's interesting. But I think once you get around those type of guys and you are able to feel like, okay, their lateral movement, all these different things, I would say we're probably wrong in a lot of senses. I would say they are athletes playing quarterbacks, but particularly talking about Cam Ward, I think it's something where if it inhibits his mobility to where he's not able to torque like he usually is able to, and it gets progressively, you know, it goes or whichever way the graph wants to go, right? Progressively worse in a body fat sense. Like then there's a question, you know, got to get that under control. But I think the thing with a quarterback is arm mobility, trunk mobility, meaning it's like spinal mobility, core strength, and like, does he have a good base? If those check off, Ben Roethlisberger was quote unquote doughy, right? And he did pretty damn good in the NFL. So it's an interesting conversation.
But yeah, well, I mean, that's Mahomes in a nutshell, right? Like his biggest strength might be his flexibility. That's how he gets so much torque on some of those crazy sidearm throws, and the way he trains on it too. It's not like it's just all pure luck. Like he's got a very strict and unique resume on what he does to get ready for the season. And it's not lifting weights. It's not getting his body fat percentage as low as possible. It's a lot of it with him seems to be flexibility. And so that's why you ask, like, you know, is he an athletic quarterback or what was it exactly?
Is he an athletic quarterback or an athlete playing quarterback?
Yeah. So when I think of Mahomes, it's definitely just an athletic quarterback, because if I put Mahomes on the track and field, I don't think he's bringing me a whole lot of first place.
I don't know, though. I mean, you got to talk about a 3-sport athlete.
Yeah. Well, I mean, are we talking about stretching? He'll probably win a lot of golds. If we're talking about sprinting.
Well, I mean, he threw like what? Mahomes threw 92 in high school and averaged like 22 in basketball. So I mean,
yeah, good athlete, but
yeah,
I wouldn't say like when we're talking about the NFL, like obviously all these guys are good athletes. Like Manning was a much better athlete than I ever was, and he's considered one of the more unathletic. Even a guy like Tom Brady, I might be able to beat his NFL draft day picture, but you know, even then, like those guys they're still freak athletes at an unreal level. So when I say, you know, like a quote unquote non-athletic QB, clearly there's still got some sort of freakish component in him, whether it's the hand-eye
Right.
coordination or the flexibility, or even Mahomes, for him, what he's able to do on basketball and baseball. Like, it's not all that surprising. There is a level that no matter what you look like on the outside, like, you're just that athletic.
And I think the trend in sports that I see personally is that there's a real attention to one sport or one type of body movement, whether you're a pitcher or you're this. Like, it's not like, kind of before, I feel like when I was in high school and my peers, like, it was kind of strange to have someone play multiple sports at a high level, right? You're used to seeing, and I think social media has done so many great things, and one of them has been being able to give insights to how certain athletes train, how to work on your body better. I mean, you can look up YouTube tutorials on how to get faster and how to lift weights and how to gain muscle. Like, it's just an information age. Like, there's not only in putting on muscle and becoming a better athlete, but also in academics and stuff like that. Like, people are just it's information age, right? Ignorance is a choice. So I think with the athletic component to it, we're able to see people I think we're seeing athletes become way more developed than we ever have. But at the same token, we're not seeing well-versed athletes. I think, we're kind of seeing guys, if he's a receiver, man, he's got every movement of a receiver. But not all, back in the day, it was like, if you're a receiver, you always play basketball. And that's kind of changed a little bit. But it'll be interesting because I think guys like Cam Ward and guys like Shedeur Sanders, guys that excel at a certain position at a really, really high level and are like super technically sound, like overly technically sound for their age group. And like, and especially being a black quarterback, that's something that the black quarterback usually was knocked on, was technicalities and IQ and mechanics and all these different things, right? Footwork. But they're actually crossing boxes off. And I think it's just the advancement of athletes right now.
Yeah, and I think that's the trap in it all, too. Is like, you don't want to be a cookie cutter athlete either. And I think that's where playing those other sports certainly helps. But because, like, what did Jokic do to get his feel for the game of basketball?
Right.
You think he had it, like, he clearly wasn't a cookie cutter. Like, the guy was playing out in, like, the wind and snow. I don't know what it looked like down there in Sambar, right?
Somewhere, shoot.
Serbia? Not Serbia.
Yeah.
Is it? Yeah, maybe it is Serbia. You're right. It's Serbia. Maybe Sambar, Serbia. Maybe Sambar is the city. Either way, whatever he was doing, I guarantee you, wasn't the same kind of style that was going on in the U.S., where you learn how to shoot, elbow in the hip, then you go on to the AAU circuit. No, you look at Jokic shoot, and it's like he just kind of eyeballs where he wants it, and that hand-eye coordination is unreal with him. And I think that's the only reason I can make it, why it works so well for him. He's just got that feel, unlike other people do. But there's a way to get advantages if you go outside of the norms. And I do think that's probably the biggest trap for athletes. It's like if the homeowners association got into sports. You're going to see a bunch of rules that you can't do this. You need to do it this way. If you do it this way, then you'll match the current homes. Then you'll match what the current athletes today are. You got to do something to create like a few wrinkles in your game, a few advantages. And that's why when you talk guys like Eric Strickland, who did wrestle, who did play football, who played basketball, who did some track and field, like, it shows up at baseball as well. Like, he's just an all-around great athlete. And then in the basketball game, where he took the basketball game just because he thought it was going to be the most profitable one. I think he says football or baseball might have been his best. But either way, he had all those other sports underneath his belt. So he picked the one that he thought was not his best, but was still good enough all-around athletes to make it work and figure out what his strengths were in the NBA. Do you think that's ever going to get any better in the U.S.?
Well, I think that's an interesting question, because I think what's slowing down, or I guess I don't know which way you want to look at it, like the European or the outside countries are speeding up or we're declining. I don't know which way you want to look at it. I would say they're they're advancing and we're
Yeah.
just not progressing as much. I don't think we're on a decline,
We're
but
stagnant.
I think, like I would just say, I wouldn't say we're stagnant. I would just say we are inclining, but I think it's just not at the levels of everyone else. And so,
Well, who's taking the
course,
throne of LeBron James then if it's not stagnant?
well, it's not I wouldn't say it's stagnant. I would say I still would say it's still on an increase, but I wouldn't say it's, I think personally, if you were to stack up, okay, the 10 best players, was it 5 of them are overseas? Well, you still got 200 of the league left, right? So it's not that big of a gap, of course. You're just producing really good talent, of course, and the best talent from out there makes it over here. But I think one reason for that is that we have like these confinements, through school and club and all these different things where the growth process is kind of limited within basketball. So like if you're a 7-year-old and you're able to play with the 14-year-olds at like a really high level, you can, right? You can, but inside systems that doesn't, sometimes it has to fade away at some time, right? Because when you're in high school, you're in high school. You can't just go to college. And I think overseas, you grow and you go to the level based on where your talent is, and the confinements of the system don't really mean anything. Like, Luka's been playing pro since 14, 15 years old. Like, and I'm sure Jokic is probably around the same number. So and then you look at like a guy like Kobe, he was able to, go play overseas and do some things like that and come over to the US and just absolutely kill it. But imagine if LeBron, grew up overseas and he was, able to compete with pros at age, 12, 13, whatever it was. I'm just using LeBron because that's probably the best example of a high school player. Or like even Zion Williamson. Like if he was to go overseas, like he'd be playing pro since 14 years old and his game would be through the roof, and we probably would be talking about a different Zion. And so I think it's an interesting conversation. I think they are growing, and maybe it is time to look at this, like the structural systems of like just like unified sports, and see if there's ways to I know you got a G League, right? And some guys are taking the NBA or the high school to G League approach, but maybe there's a way to integrate like the guys who can really play at a high level, like in high school, and bring them to the pro level.
Yeah, and I think you kind of hit the nail on the head with those guys being able to play pro ball earlier. Like even if you are one of those guys going into the G League, yes, there's some older guys in the G League, but it's mostly young dudes that are at that same level you're at, where they're just on the fringe of maybe being an NBA prospect. And if you're, Luka Doncic, when you're playing in those leagues, or Goran Dragic, I think they were in that same Lithuanian league. Like you're playing against grown men at 14. It's not a bunch of other young kids that are showing a lot of promise that chose to go to the amateur professional route. Like, no, that is the professional group out there. Like you can't go any higher. So they are playing the best possible basketball within their country. In the NBA, like we have the G League set up there, and it's a good start. I do like that they're trying to invest more into it, but it still just doesn't quite compare against, if you're Luka going into the paint and there's two 30-year-olds that have just been playing ball for years. And especially when they play a little bit more physical overseas is there as well. Like you're going to mature and figure out unique ways to finish around the glass as a 14-year-old that are going to carry. And then when you're a grown man at 25, 30, you're still going to have those unique abilities. So I think that's part of it. How the U.S. starts that, they got to push the G League more. But even then, like I said, you're not going to have that same kind of age disparity that it does think helps those European players quite a bit. We'll throw the break here. Some quick notes. BYU is falling to Bama here in March Madness, 84-106. Trivia for you, Chancellor Brewington. How many 3-point shots do you think Alabama attempted in this game with about 3 minutes left to go in the second half?
In the 3 minutes go in the second half?
I believe it's the most threes ever taken in a March Madness game, just to give you a ballpark.
37.
Higher.
48.
Close. 50.
50.
And they're shooting 48% from three.
They've made what was that?
24.
24? Jeez.
24 or 50. 50 is outrageous, but if you're making damn near 50% of them, that's a great day from the office. So
and they won, right?
They're playing right now, but they're going to win. Step back three, money. My Lord.
My goodness.
If you're BYU, I just feel bad for you. BYU has 86 points. Just to put this in perspective for everyone out there, BYU is shooting 21% from three, but they've taken 20. They've also taken a lot, but they're shooting 46% on the night. They're not shooting terribly on free throws. They're doing all right. 80% there. Alabama's just playing out of their mind right now. So to Duke and Arizona, whoever wins that one, I'd be sweating a little bit because this Alabama team is red hot. As it's like I said, they got 109. They're shooting about 50% from three, taking 51 of them at the moment, and they're leading at 111 to 86. Minute left to go. So it looks like Alabama, they'll move on to the Elite Eight. Find out if they play Duke or Arizona. But this is What's Brewing, Chancellor Brewington. We'll throw it to break. Talk to you guys on the other side.
Well, it's the middle of winter, the holidays are over, and the weather is unpredictable. Isn't there anything to look forward to? You bet there is. Cash Blast from your Nebraska Lottery is back. Until April 1st, buy a 2x2 ticket and enter the voucher number online for a chance to win one of 7 weekly drawings for $5,000 or $500. And if your voucher is from a 7-day draw ticket, your prize is doubled. Hey, there's nothing like a little green to cure the winter blues. 2x2 top prize odds, 1 in 105,000.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, light snow possible this morning. Otherwise, partly sunny and cold. You see a high of 5 above. Tonight, mainly clear, very cold with a low of minus 18. And tomorrow, mostly sunny and cold. An afternoon high around 8 above. I'm meteorologist Kyle Kleckner for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is Bill Mitchner, Executive Director of Lincoln Lighthouse. Did you know Lighthouse provides multiple programs for students such as one-on-one tutoring and mentoring, as well as pro-social skill exercises, while providing them a nourishing meal and a safe space during all months of the year, even during school breaks? Learn more or contribute to Lighthouse at lincolnlighthouse.org today.
Lance here with Black Label. We specialize in creating custom crafted decks, pergolas, patio covers, and more. Plus, our retractable screens, gazebos, and patio enclosures create the ultimate outdoor retreat. With over 50 years of combined experience, we're not just builders, we're creators of unforgettable memories.
Call them today at 402-730-6333 or visit blacklabelbuilt.com for a free consultation.
Let's turn your backyard dreams into reality.
Black Label Built, built to serve, built to last.
John Henry's has a brand new membership club to protect your entire home in one program. With a VIP and a deluxe option, we will help you find the plan that best fits your needs. Receive discounts on services and equipment, priority service, complimentary inspections, and so much more. Protect your home's plumbing, heating, cooling, and electrical systems all in one membership. Call John Henry's to learn more.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air.
And electrical.
Hey volleybalfans, this is Laura Dijkema, national player of the Netherlands, and now the setter on Omaha's newest professional team, Love Omaha Volleyball. League volleyball is bringing the heat this year. Don't miss your chance to see Olympians, national players, and national champions right here in Omaha from now through April. We can't wait to see you cheering for us in the stands. Visit lovboma.com to buy single match tickets to see me and Love Omaha volleyball in action. Go Big Green!
The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeyman electricians from $32.50 to $42.50 per hour with paid benefits. And if you're looking for a new career, they're hiring apprentices at $19.50 per hour with paid benefits. Call the office at 402-423-4497 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just a professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, our passion. For happier, healthier furry friends.
What's going on, fans? This is Lexi Rodriguez, four-time All-American at Nebraska and now proud member of Omaha's newest professional team, Love Omaha Volleyball. League One Volleyball is bringing the heat this year. Don't miss your chance to see Olympians, national players, and national champions right here in Omaha from now through April. We can't wait to see you cheering us on in the stands. Visit lovboma.com to buy single match tickets to see me and Love Omaha Volleyball in action this season. Go Big Green!
Garage doors can break down or quit working at the worst times. At Doors Plus, they understand that a broken garage sometimes means repair and not replace. Sometimes, all you need to make your door like new again is a few bolts, realignment, or even a new balance. Trust the pros at Doors Plus to handle your garage door repair the right way so you can get on with your busy schedule. Visit them online at doorsplusllc.com or give them a call at 402-590-5800.
At Farm Bureau Financial Services, we strive to provide you with the right coverages for all your insurance needs by taking the time to meet with you and review what coverages best fit your needs. So whether you're in the market for home, auto, farm, business, life, or a combination of any of these coverages, we can help with making sure you, your family, or your business have the right coverage based on your individual needs. If you would like to review your insurance needs, please contact Ben Spurt with Farm Bureau Financial Services at 402-217-9945 or through email at ben.spurt@fbfs.com.
Back to What's Brewing with Chancellor Brewington on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back in segment number 2 and maybe the final segment. We'll see how this segment rolls along here as we're streaming only, not necessarily bound by the rules of time here. So, that being said, we'll throw it over to the host as always. We got Chancellor Brewington, the former Husker tight end. And as I said earlier, Hairstorm's back here at the 1040 Ticket Studios. Chancellor Brewington, segment 2, floor is yours.
Hey, so did you see the Bronny career high in the G League?
No, what did he drop?
About, I believe, 37 or 39.
It's not fake news. NBA Sentinel's got me a few times. I'm not even lying. I don't mean that.
No. I saw the YouTube. I saw the highlights. He looks like a completely different player. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I don't think I'm in doubt of that. When I got surprised, when I got Sentel, Bronny dropped 40 in the NBA. I was like, oh my God, I was wrong about everything. Nope, good old Sentel. But in the G League, like, I'm not surprised to see him. I am surprised by some of the stats, but I don't think anybody ever thought and said, like, Bronny, well, some people certainly did, but most people thought Bronny James can be a good NBA player. We just don't see it yet. And that was like a totally fair assessment.
But was that was not the majority though? Would you say?
I think the majority thought he needed more time.
Right. And I think
would be right.
I think okay, so averaging, I think he had 17 against the Bucks the other night in an actual NBA game when Luka and LeBron sat, and then follows that up within the next week. I think he had like 37. And I'm honestly, I want him to do well, of course, but I'm not like this I'm really not even an ultra LeBron fan. I like good basketball. And I think he plays an interesting brand of basketball. When you see him play, it's almost like he has like a different type of selflessness. What was it? What are you smiling at?
Just keep going.
No, it's interesting. He has an interesting, like, the way he plays. It's not laid back. It's not lackadaisical. Like, he plays with a real sense of urgency. He passes the ball really well. He's super aggressive, and it looks a lot stronger than what he looks strong. I'll say he looks strong, and he looks like he has a frame that he's going to continue to grow into. And then when you look at like just the progression, I heard Chill Sports or Chill Hoops, I forget the name. He was talking about how if Bronny was in the NBA or if he was in college right now, he would be averaging 15 to 17 points, and he would be a top 10 pick. And so it's like, well, why didn't that happen? And then you have to factor in, okay, well, he almost died, 2 months before the season, of course. And, that was pretty dramatic, of course. And he was able to bounce back from that. But that's neither here nor there. I mean, now he's in a position where he's not only playing, he's excelling. And I think it's awesome. And I think, maybe after this year, depending on how he does summer league, maybe he's like a Max Christie. I think he's a perfect comparison of what Bronny could be in the next couple of years. Max Christie comes with the Lakers, does well summer league, gets drafted by them, plays in the G League, right? On a two-way, kind of the same contract as Bronny, plays majority G League, right? Comes in a little bit, super young, body super underdeveloped. And then the next year kind of does the same thing, a little bit more on the NBA roster. And then the next year really has like this transformative year, is able to play along Bron, brings the ball up a little bit, of course, gets traded this year. He's with the Mavs now with AD. But like, I think that progression of like his career thus far, I think he's year 3 or 4, would be, I mean, I don't know. Maybe I think Bronny has a higher ceiling than Max Christie, and maybe that's crazy for some people, but I think Bronny's ceiling is really high. If he can figure out, if he can be consistent, bringing the ball up the court and be able to protect the ball, of course. And then I think the other thing is he got to be able to hit threes. And it looks like he's doing that in the G League. Of course, it's the G League, and that's the rebuttal consistently. But yeah.
Well, G League, he's averaging about 22, 5, and 5. If you want to round up on the assists, you can go 22, 5, and 6. He is shooting 38% from 3 in the G League. I mean, you get anything close to 40, you're happy with. 21 points averaging. A couple steals as well. 3.5 turnovers. I mean, his numbers aren't bad at all. I think the challenge for him is just going to be with any young players' defense. And he is undersized as well a little bit. So he does get, when he is in those NBA games, he gets headhunted a lot. A, because you're the youngest player on the court, that's going to happen. B, you're also giving up a height advantage just about every single time you go out there. He's going to be fine, I think. I don't know what the ceiling is. I don't want to like get super hyped on it, because as good as the sign this is, there's a lot of guys we can drop in the G League and they're going to have those stats, if not better. You can throw Reeves in there in his rookie year. If you were to take Reeves and put him in the G League, he'd be destroying kids. So it's a good sign, but it's also like an expectation. It's like, this is the route that I think most people could foresee from him. Like he's had some G League games where he didn't even look great there either, but just keep building up that confidence. You mentioned it, like, Christ, you came off heart surgery not that long ago. Like, I understand it's going to be a bit of a bumpy and rusty start. That's why I just hate it anytime he's out there in the Lakers, like the official Lakers, because I'm like, he's not, what are we doing here? We're just wasting time. We're wasting his own development time. Like, get him in the G League where he can be one of the guys that's leading the team in wins, especially if you want him to have a high ceiling, a guy that you drafted in the second round. You're asking more of him to then just be a role player. No, you're grooming him to become a serious, maybe not a superstar, but a strong starter at the very least, if you're wasting a second round pick. So you have more in hopes than him just sitting in the corner shooting threes from time to time or just handing the ball off on pick and rolls. No, you're developing him. Otherwise, you're just wasting your second round pick completely on the PR. So that's my only rebuttal anytime he puts on that Lakers uniform. I'm like, treat him like the second round pick that you want to actually develop to be a real contender, because he's not there yet. You took the gamble on it, and you're willing to bleed a little bit of time for him to get there, and he's young, but stop putting him in the damn pro games. Like, he's just, until he is consistently ripping it up in G League, you make that move. But I think you stay on that move once you do it. I don't like the back and forth.
Yeah, it's interesting. Staying on that topic, the Stephen A. and LeBron confrontation. Did you see
at it, Brewington?
Just swing. I'm like, come on, what are we doing? I didn't realize how tall Stephen A. Smith was.
Yeah, he's bigger than you'd think.
He's like 6'5".
Looks small standing next to LeBron James.
Yeah, I don't like. What are you thinking? Like, this, it just doesn't make sense. Like, you go on a podcast and say you would have swung on him if you, like, why even?
You want to know the answers?
For some views.
Why he's acting out all of a sudden?
Why for?
The Brewingtons are after him.
The Brewingtons.
Whatever you call Laker fans. The LeBron, not even Laker fans. LeBron James fans. I'll say this much. I'll say this with my chest. You guys have the worst. Out of any player fan base, LeBron James.
You guys. I just like, bro, that's crazy.
You just gave me the prophecy of Bronny James being a superstar.
I said he has a better ceiling than Max Christie.
Yeah. Superstar. Everyone knows Max Christie is that guy.
I think the Bronny's highest ceiling ever, and this is a crazy stretch. This is like peak. And I don't like to put limits on people, right?
Let me take a guess at it. I bet you I can guess at it. Chris Paul.
Bro, are you crazy? No. I'm not that. I'm not that wild.
Sean Livingston? Nah, defense doesn't make sense there.
No.
Give me a hint.
Bounced around a lot.
Raleigh Wooster.
3-and-D guy.
3-and-D guy. Well, wrong right there. Bronny's never going to be 3-and-D.
How?
Defense, not good. That's your first problem.
Well, I mean, he can develop into a good defensive player.
Yeah. I don't know.
It's his only hope.
It's part of his hope. He's got some good assets. Like, this isn't just an entire poo-poo on Bronny. Like, he does have some attributes.
Well, if you know who I'm about to say, I mean, that would be this is a great career.
Klay Thompson?
No, come on, bro.
I'm thinking
no. Okay, I'll name the teams he's been on.
Okay, this would be good.
Okay. I want to say he started with this team. I'll name him. Okay. Pelicans, Bucks, Celtics. That should give it away.
Pelicans, Bucks, Celtics. Are they playing on the roster right now with the Celtics? Yeah, no. Oh, I think Brewington might just completely frozen out of time there. Either way, I want to say Gordon Hayward, but I don't think it's Gordon Hayward. Never played for any of those teams.
Drew Holiday.
Okay.
I think that's like a.
Oh, I should have known that one. I forgot about it. Yeah, Pelicans, Bucks, Celtics. I don't know if you had muted. I was asking if you're still on the Celtics roster.
I was waiting. I thought that was like a rhetorical question.
No, I really didn't know. That makes a ton of sense. Nope, that's way too high of a ceiling. Never.
Really?
Defensively, I don't think he'll ever be Drew Holiday. Offensively, he may be better than Drew Holiday.
Yeah, so maybe there's a give and take there.
Just don't like the defense. Like that's the one thing I hear from Bronny James fans. And I shouldn't say fans, but people who are optimistic on him. The defense. Right. Where's everybody pulling this defense from?
I think because it has to be. I think you're kind of forcing it to be.
That's actually fair.
I don't know. Yeah, I think you're like, come on, be good at defense. Because if you're not, then it's gonna be a rough one.
Hey, Lonzo Ball started his career on that. Good defense. When he first was Lonzo Ball, when he was a Laker, it was atrocious. His 3-point shooting numbers were terrible, but he had some really good defense.
Could pickpocket pickpocket every guard. Yeah, I think it's interesting. I don't know. I don't think he's gonna, his ceiling is gonna be Pat Beverly, right? Like I think and even Pat Beverly is a good basketball player. I'm not dissing him. But I do think he just has a different pop. Like he has a different pop. So it'd be interesting.
Yeah, I mean his last name helps a lot. And that's just a real thing. Like if you got brothers, I'm not in this camp, but if you had brothers that played D1 sports, those universities are going to give you a better look than if those brothers didn't go play Division I sports. It's in the family.
It's like I remember in high school, the friends that continued to play baseball, if they had, a dad or a brother, continue to play or played in the past and, did well, like they would just get more money because they had more potential. Right. So like, it's just simple like that. And, some people say, oh, that's not fair, but I think it's just kind of how the game works. It's how this sports world works.
Coaches got to save time too. I can't look at every single kid. And if you go with a family that's like 1, 2, 3, 4 of them play Division I collegiate sports, good bet the fifth kid's going to be a good athlete as well.
Right.
So a lot of it's just like you go with what you know, especially if it's a family that's just churning out athletes, and especially if that family is churning out well-mannered athletes. Like, yeah, you're going to go knock on that kid's door probably first and offer him a little bit more because you've seen it work with the previous brothers and sisters ahead of them. With that,
And you always got to get the younger ones.
Younger ones are the best ones.
Come on now.
I know from my own case study. I did myself. All right, Brewington, give me, as we're talking about ceilings here, give me the NBA player who has just failed to even sniff their ceiling on what people had. Let's get the easy ones out of the way. Zion.
Yeah, I think Zion is in there.
He's easiest.
What about you? What about RJ Barrett? Where are you at with him?
Yeah, disappointing.
Okay.
Like, he's all right, but he had a lot of hype. I mean, that's a good one because that whole Duke team just landed flat on their face in March Madness and what their pro potential. Remember, there was a real argument who's better, RJ Barrett and Zion. Now, majority of people said Zion, no brainer, but there's a lot of people super high on RJ Barrett being even better than Zion Williamson at one point in time. And ironically, you can make the argument that he has been because he's been way more reliable and he's been playing.
Yeah, that's a good one. I'm processing, trying to get some new ones. Where are you at with Devin Booker?
Disappointing, but I don't blame him as much as I blame the organization.
Right.
Like, that's Devin Booker's team. Why did you bring in Bradley Beal and Kevin Durant? What are you doing? You have your offense.
Yeah.
Like, Devin Booker is going to be the guy to carry the torch, lay down the stretch. What you need is defense and some bigs. You need to spend money on a legit five, especially because, say what you will about another good guy to bring up, DeAndre Ayton. Had a really high ceiling.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's a good one.
He plateaued. And then Chris Paul saved his career a little bit. But then once Chris Paul was out of his life again, he just plummeted his stock. Where's he even at anymore?
I have no idea.
He's still Sun?
No, I don't think so. What about Porzingis? I know some injury stuff, but
Portland, by the way.
Who?
Portland. Ayton's in Portland. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Averaging about 13
Porzingis.
points a game. Porzingis, Wemby before Wemby. I'm gonna say
he was with the Knicks first. Like, you thought he was gonna be.
I'm gonna say the Knicks pissed that one away. He was what he was, and the Knicks it's their fault. Like, they had something, and they, for whatever reason, said that Julius Randle guy looks better, and they moved on.
That's not a bad one. It's starting to become the Jaw story if we don't see something turn around in the next few years. Because I think that year where it was like he had a top 10 dunk every other week or every week. It was like he dunked over a big or some crazy thing, and then the off the field issues, and then he got shoulder surgery this past year. And I'm not saying he's not playing at a high clip. I'm just saying I know how harsh fans are. We just talked about Devin Booker, and Devin Booker's played a, I don't know, would you say Hall of Fame career?
The book. Accolades wise, he's probably lacking.
Accolades.
He's got plenty of all-star appearances, but like actual awards, he doesn't have an MVP. He doesn't have a title. He doesn't.
He had to win something.
Yeah,
I guess the conversation of D Book and Ja could be super similar post career.
Yeah, I think he will be a Hall of
trend
Famer
continues.
when it's all said and done. Like
right.
D Books, he probably will be a Hall of Famer, but just like right now, you purely going off of like stats, which is fine to go by. But then accolades, you're definitely short. And he'd be one of those guys where if he wasn't in the Hall of Fame, like 100 years down the road, people wouldn't really remember him all too well.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of anything else.
Scoot Henderson, I'll throw out. Portland Trailblazers. I know it's the second year.
Yeah.
because he was number 2 or number 1 in the draft, or number 2 because Victor obviously went first. But I think he was. No, there's a bunch of French players, and then Scoot Henderson eventually. But I thought he was going to be so good. Yeah, I was so high on Scoot Henderson. He's been good, but he just looks like a good role player right now. Not the same kind of splash you saw from like Ja his rookie year, or when you pick these guys to be superstars, and the first year is good, but still a little bit underwhelming. Like that's kind of where he's at. He'll definitely be a player for years to come, and he might have that year. DeMar DeRozan's always my best example. Like he peaked at the age of 32, which is unreal. Like to have your best productive season at that age. So he might be, one of those cases where not quite 32, but 25, he might just be a completely different player who's putting up 20 plus points a game on high efficiency. As for guards, that's kind of where I'm at. Gordon Hayward, but that's more injuries.
Yeah, that one's injuries. That's like the Paul George conversation kind of. I still feel like we could have got so much more out of Kawhi. But, of course, the injury conversation, too.
Here's the fun one. This one, is it the franchise or is it the player? LaMelo Ball.
As far as – so you're saying he hasn't transpired?
I'm asking you. I have my answer. But where do you think LaMelo Ball's game for what we kind of were promised in the whole big baller brand era?
I think he's exceeded expectations. In my opinion, I think not playing college ball, playing overseas, playing in a makeshift league, right? Against who knows if they're actual pro guys, and then playing this really funky style of basketball. I don't know how he's finishing up the year. I know before All-Star break, he was like second in the league in points. Do you have anything pulled up?
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. So this year he's averaging 25 points a game, 7 assists. He's grabbing 5 rebounds, 84% from the free throw line. He is 34% from 3, 40% from the field. Those are pretty good stats. I think he broke the ceiling. I think he exceeded expectations. And I still blame the franchise. Get him out of Charlotte, please. You want a face of the league? Chancellor Brewington, I'm not even kidding you. Put on one LaMelo Ball tape, highlight tape. It's unreal. He is so good.
Yeah.
I can't believe he's still on the Hornets. Like he's got to get out of there for his sake.
Yeah, he does.
All that organization does is lose and lose and lose, and it drives me nuts when you have Kemba Walker who had to suffer through it. Now you're gonna have LaMelo Ball. He's gonna have to suffer through it. I don't want to see like really fun, exciting players play for the Hornets anymore. They've lost their right. Like seriously, it's a horrible watch because you watch LaMelo Ball probably have one of the coolest highlights, and they'll brick the 3. They can't make the shot. So he's the guy who broke the ceiling and expectations. He can be one of the best guards. He can legitimately, in my eyes, win an MVP one day. But he's got to get out.
He has that interesting play style, like you said. Like it's like he's a score first guy, but he also gets people open, and he also is he passes the ball so well. He's so unorthodox with everything. Like it's like. He's like he reminds me of like a baseball version of I forget the first one I'm thinking of, Hunter Pence, and I'm thinking of Kevin Youkilis. Like if you ever watch those two play baseball, Kevin Youkilis, they both played third base, I believe, but like just super weird like stance, but super effective. Like we're ballers, right? And I think that's when you look at LaMelo, shoots from his hip, crosses, just almost looks lazy, right? Almost looks like he doesn't try. But I mean, I think the one thing is he's gonna have to take some lessons from his brother, like defensively. You know,
sure,
that would probably be the gap in strength wise. But man, he's on track to do something great.
Yeah, that's really the only spot where he's worse than his brother is. You could say his defense, but like even his passing, like all the stuff that people are excited about Lonzo Ball for. You go turn on LaMelo Ball games. I mean, he's lobbing it from 3/4 of the court. He's got unreal ability. Just feel to where those guys are going to be. The guy's just got to make shots. He just hasn't really had a great team around him yet. But again, like your point, he gives me a little bit of like a more humble James Harden. Like the way he scores is a bit unorthodox, and I know it kind of always has you guessing. LaMelo Ball's a lot like that, but he shares it a lot more, and he doesn't necessarily dribble the air out of the ball the same way James Harden did at times. But the way they score is unethical. And it when it's working, it's one of the scariest guys you can face. With that being said, though, we got to get out of here. Chancellor Brewington, appreciate the time as always. We will do it again next week. That's going to wrap it up for Ticket Weeknights, at least tonight. Be sure to tune in back tomorrow, 6 a.m., early break, 3 hours. Bill Bush, Steve Sipple, Jake Sorensen, always good stuff. Chancellor Brewington, appreciate the time. Like I said, I'll see you again on Monday.
All right, my guy.